Well, welcome back to the Brilliant Fishing Podcast. We appreciate you listening. We've been putting this out now for a while. I think we're on episode 22 tonight. And tonight we have a very special guest. I'm excited about this. We're going to be doing a saltwater episode tonight where we're going to be talking about sheepshead fishing specifically. And tonight, to help us with this task of learning how to target sheepshead, which is, by the way, one of the most elusive, just tricky to catch fish, we have an extremely well-dressed angler here to help us tonight. You may have seen it. He's wearing his loafers out on the dock, and he's terrorizing sheepshead, trout, flounder, you name it. Fish fear him, right? Everywhere he goes. Tonight we're going to be joined by none other than Derek Kelly, fisherman extraordinaire. Also, he's admin of the Carolina Inshore Fishing Facebook page. If you've been fishing anywhere around North Carolina, inshore, you're part of any of those groups, that is one of the largest, if not the largest, pages. Derek is very helpful. He's posting pictures of his catches. He's helping other anglers, and it's been a great place to find fishing information and fellowship as it relates to Carolina Inshore Fishing. And so, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Derek. So, Derek, glad to have you with us tonight.
Hey, glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
It's absolutely, yeah, it's a pleasure. So, well, tonight, what I'd like to do, I've been out fishing with you a couple of times, and we've targeted flounder and some other things. But tonight, I wanted to really key in on sheepshead because I know for me, it's been a very humbling experience trying to get out and target sheepshead because they're just so tricky to catch. And so
they absolutely can be.
Yeah. So, so tell me a little bit about, before we get into like the techniques. I want to get into techniques, tackle, all of that good stuff. But just tell me a little bit before we get started about how you got involved in sheepshead fishing. Like who got you started, or how long have you been doing that? And tell me a little bit about your learning curve getting started.
Okay, yeah. So I started sheepshead fishing probably 2013 or so. Before sheepshead, I was going for the big chopper blues off Curry Beach Pier and in the surf. I was going for flounder and red drum and trout here and there, but I didn't know about fishing as much as I do now, obviously. I saw these guys. I was fishing a dock in the Intercoastal Waterway, and they were reeling up these big sheepshead using fiddler crabs. And I didn't have any fiddler crabs, and I heard oysters work back in the day and stuff like that. And I saw this stuff growing on the side of the dock, and it was just like clumped on there. And I just, I saw the sheepshead come up and turn on their side, and they would just kind of chip away at it and then go back down. I was like, so they're eating that stuff. So I dropped some of that stuff on my Carolina rig. I dropped it down there. I'd never used it before. I didn't even know what it was, but I dropped it down there. All of a sudden, my line goes over to the side. I hook up on it, 18-inch sheepshead, first sheepshead I've ever caught, and it was call it marsh mussels or bearded mussels, and they grow on the side of the docks. I dropped it down there the second time, and I got another one. They were back to back out there. It was so thick. The bait was everywhere. It's plentiful. And I started posting to these fishing groups, and I would, be dressed all nice and everything, holding the fish up, and they'd be like, man, you didn't catch that. You're holding someone else's fish, or you bought it from the market. So, man, after 2 years of doing that, I went ahead and just made my own fishing page, the Carolina Inshore Fishing, in 2015. Mm-hmm. And I never advertised it or anything. I just kind of posted my catch on there, and people would join it and post what they caught. And over the years, it kind of gained popularity, and people would, they would just join it on their own. And it has 74,000 members now, which is pretty amazing. We have an amazing staff. We've got Amanda Passmore. She's one of the admins. Brad Thomas.
Okay.
He's one of the
Yep. Well, so you got a couple buddies there tonight. They're going to keep you on track.
That's right. And so we go out and we slay these fish, and I got them dialed in. I got these fish. I know them like the back of my hand now. So it took years and years of experience to finally, master this very hard to catch fish.
Yeah. Well, let's. And I know a lot of folks are like me. We have questions, and maybe we've tried it before. I know I've tried it before with some success, but I feel like I'm still missing some key things. And so, let's pick your brain a little bit tonight on targeting these fish. And so maybe just to kick us off, I mean, I want to talk about tackle and baits and locations and strategies, but so maybe let's just start with. Do you want to just start with tackle? Maybe, yeah.
Tackle's
So what are you
So
using?
a lot of people, they prefer the bottom sweepers. Now the bottom sweeper is pretty much a jig head that's weighted, and it's just a heavier jig head, and it's kind of shaped different. And they're really good for mud crabs and fiddler crabs and sand fleas. They're not too good for the mussels. I like to use the Carolina rig for that. I prefer the Carolina rig all around as my preference. Mud crabs being one of my top favorite baits. Quartered blue crab, the mussels, and fiddler crabs work depending on where you're at. They could work good. Yep. All those baits work better different locations. Crustaceans in general. Yep,
Okay.
That's what they feed on.
Right, like crustaceans. Well, I really like crustaceans myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like it all, right? So
good diet, that's for sure.
okay. So Carolina rig, and then so tell me a little bit about before we get down to the Carolina rig. Let's just kind of back up the line. So like you got well, actually, let's just start at the hook. So you've got like your what kind of hook do you like? Or does it vary depending on the thing you're using?
SSW. This is what I use. This is the 1/0, but you would increase this to the number 2 or the 3/0, depending on your bait size. If you're using a big old quarter blue crab, you should bump up to the 2 or 3. Using these 1/0s, you could use the bearded mussels or the fiddler crabs. So you can scale your hook size depending on your bait. And for the line, I use a fluorocarbon leader. Cigar, really good. 25-pound or 30-pound fluorocarbon. And I don't use a long leader for sheepshead. I'll use between 6 and 8 inches.
Wow. Okay. So that's pretty short.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of times, like the bottom sweeper, there's no leader at all. I mean, it's just straight, like the weight is on the hook. So you don't even need. The shorter the leader is, the more sensitivity you have.
Okay,
so
because
I've seen with the bottom sweepers, the hook gaps are usually too big, so you tend to miss a lot more than you do. I feel like on the Carolina rig.
Okay, gotcha. So with the Carolina rig, so you've got your 1/0 or whatever your owner hook. I did before we move away from the hook. I did want to ask you this. So I get how you would hook like a quartered crab or something, or a fiddler or whatever, but those little mussels, I'm still not sure I understand like how you got those on the hook.
Okay, so
through the shell or
one, you could actually, where they naturally seam together,
like a peanut.
Like a peanut. Where the natural seam is. You just take take the hook and just push it through that and put 2 or 3 on, or maybe just 2. And I slightly put a little crush in the shell. So just
Captain
push
Crunch.
we call it Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Okay, we just Captain Crunch it. It gets it's somewhat like taking a mud crab and trimming the legs off, or putting a little crack in the shell. It releases the juices and it makes it more, the fish finds it a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. It's a little juicier.
And also, sometimes when you find them on the docks, they're all clumped together and they're connected together by their beard. They call it the beard of the mussel. It's like this little webbing. It's like spider web almost, but it's really, they're held together pretty good.
Moss.
It's like moss. Okay, and you could just kind of take the hook and wedge it through that webbing, and then the little crack, just a little bit. You want to take your nice fancy dress shoes and just step on it until you hear like a slight crunch. Drop it right beside the structure. You want to fish the back side of the current. So the current's flowing. You want to be on the back side of the structure. Now, also, when I'm fishing these mussels, if I fish mussels or barnacles, I chum. I'll take a paint scraper, scrape the barnacles, and the current's flowing. You got to keep in mind the rate of the current is how far your bait or your chum line is going to drift down, and you got to fish maybe 5 foot over from the piling, depending on the speed of the current. If there's no current, fish straight down. If there's a pretty good amount of current, you fish down a little ways. So you just got to keep in mind water depth. It would be closer to the pilings. Deeper water, it's going to settle farther over, and you got to fish a little bit farther.
Okay.
For mud crabs, fiddler crabs, and blue crab, I don't chum. You drop down. If you're not getting anything, you move down to the next pylon. You cover more ground. Barnacles and mussels, you get them to come to you, by chumming.
Interesting. Okay, that's good stuff.
Thank you.
So let me ask you something I forgot. So as we were doing the tackle, so we got our hook, we got our leader, we got our our weight. You're just using as little weight as you can get by with.
Exactly. So just the smallest amount of weight that you could get away with to make it to the hot bite zone. So this is a half ounce right here. Sometimes you'll be fishing that little weight on your Carolina rig. Mm-hmm. I'll make one here for you here in a second so you can actually see the whole rig.
Okay, gotcha.
And I have a 85-pound rated swivel. Now, you're never going to catch an 85-pound fish, but that's a very small swivel.
Sure.
You want to be ready for whatever.
You want to be ready for the state or something, but it's a very petite swivel, but it's strong, and it's only a $3 pack of swivels. So that's what I've always used. Works great for me. And you'll bump your weight up a little bit more depending on the current. The current, if it's ripping, that's the only thing that's going to determine your weight is the current speed. It could be 30 feet deep, but if the current's not ripping, you could just use that little one. Just make it down to the bottom. And when I hit the bottom, I pick up slightly. So you envision, I'll make that rig for you here in a second, but you're going to envision when you hit the bottom, the weight is flush, on the sea floor. You're going to wind it up about half a crank up, and it's going to bring your bait just hovering above where you're fishing at. Okay, so your weight is up here, your bait's going to be right here. So I pick up a little bit, and that's way when the fish grab it, they usually pull it down. It gives them the room to kind of pull it down a little bit. That's one of the biggest signs of a sheepshead bite, is it either the pull down or your line moves over a little bit to the side, or it's just like a throbbing, like something's just kind of messing with it. You take the rod tip, slightly pull up on it, and it's going to feel like you're hung. It's going to feel like you're stuck on something, but there's no snag. It's a fish. You set the heck out of that hook, and then he starts ripping line. It's fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
It sounds great. I just feel like I keep having more questions as you go a little further into this. But before we move away from the tackle, tell me about your main line. What are you using for main line?
I'm gonna show you here in a second. I'm actually gonna make one of these up for you.
Yeah, go ahead and make us up one.
Okay, so here's our leader. This is 30-pound cigar.
Okay.
So we're gonna take, I like to go a little bit extra because I have to tie my knot and cinch it down a little bit. So I'll get probably a foot right here, and then I could customize my length after that. So I'm going to this line right here. This is my main line. This is 20-pound braid right here. I love using braid. I don't use monofilament for my main line. It's not very abrasion resistant.
Sure.
Let's see. All right, so now we're going to take our weight, little 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce. Just going to feed it right through the eye of the egg weight. Let that slide down. I'm going to take one of these swivels.
Let me get up with that for you.
Okay. Just put it through the eye. Just going to do that standard fishing knot. So you're going to take it, put your finger in that loop to kind of hold that place right there. I twisted about 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
Okay, now with braid, I like to, sometimes you could just go through that first loop right here.
Okay.
With my leader, I like to do that. But with braid, it cinches down a lot tighter, and you have to go through the other loop
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
show you here in a second.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a
Yeah, that
Back up.
improved. Is it improved clinch knot or something like that? I think.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had it. I was trying to show the camera.
Well, that's all right. I think I know what you're talking about.
A lot easier when it's not on camera.
Right.
Okay. Stand by.
I'm good with something on it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Give it a little lick.
All right. So wet it a little bit. Cinch it down.
Okay.
It's a
Now, you
pretty
don't have-
simple.
Yeah. You don't have trouble with that slipping generally?
No,
like-
it never slips. No. After you go back through the second time right there,
Braid is really good.
and then with the fluorocarbon, you're just gonna go through that first loop and then cinch it down.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
I would have to say,
I still,
using mono, I get a lot more slips than braids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would still do both loops on all of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and then
Cool.
take the hook.
And so we use those hooks because a lot of times, like people use circle hooks, and just the way their mouth is, the anatomy of their mouth,
Mm-hmm.
you'll
Mhm.
miss a lot of it just because where it's hanging down. Because like you see, when you drop it, you want to pick it up just so where there's taut and there's weight, so you'll feel any little thing because they're absolute menaces. Because I know when I was first learning, man, I was so angry for so long. And they'll make you feel so stupid. And I was like, dude, I've been out here and I lost all this bait.
Mm-hmm.
And you get so frustrated. But it's just like, once you get it, though, that first one, after you get it, you're like, okay, I got it. Let's do it.
Sheepshead will make you have some patience because you really do have to understand their bite
Yeah.
and the feeling to pay attention to.
And you got to know your waters. I think my first one was actually in the ocean. And it's a whole different thing.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I would say the ocean is a lot harder than intercoastal.
So that's the rig.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Carolina rig,
Yeah.
just like that.
So
And
pretty
so when it's on the
simple.
bottom, it's flat. You reel it up just a little bit, and you want your bait kind of hanging, just like that.
Mm-hmm. So are you typically fishing this rig? Like, I mean, I guess maybe it depends, or maybe not. But you typically always fishing it just like right off the bottom, or like if it's hot
Yeah,
or
I
if it's
always
deep water.
I don't ever fish the water column. It's always on the bottom. I always fish it right on the bottom and slightly up. That's where
Okay.
I've always caught all my fish.
Okay.
Some guys kind of work the water column. I've tried it. I've never caught them that way.
Mm-hmm.
But especially if you're chumming, those fish are going to gather to the bottom and feed down that way.
Okay. So I think you've answered a lot of the questions that I was going to have next, which is like taking us through a fishing trip. So like so you've got your spot in mind. You're going out. You're maybe chumming or not, depending on the location.
Yes, depending on your bait, you chum.
Okay.
Yep.
And then so you're rigging these up. You're presenting them like we talked about. I think, let's see. I think that takes us to, the bite. All right. So and I think you mentioned a little bit about that. So you're saying the bite is really soft, and what you're looking for is like for it just to kind of feel like it's hung up, or maybe it just starts to move
It'll just be
sideways.
pressure. Like when you're fishing a spot, you will get an idea of the bottom. Like sometimes you could feel like an oyster down there, or like there would be a rope or something. If there's something down there that you're aware of, but if it's pretty flat for the most part that you know of, and you go to pull up on it and it's pretty taut, that's a fish. Especially if you're on a hot bite and that happens several times and your bait's gone, that's a telltale sign that's a fish too.
Okay.
Yeah. So I chum when using the barnacles and the mussels. The crabs, you just drop and just hit different spots and cover more ground with the crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, spots I look for to find these fish. More complex dock structures hold more fish because they just kind of flock there. There's more barnacles, mussels, and crustaceans for them to eat. Closer to the inlet is better too. Now there's pretty good fishing in the river. I don't do too much river fishing, but I do have a spot in the river that holds good fish depending on the time of year. They're very temperature sensitive fish.
Okay.
I was catching fish at this spot for a couple days, it was probably good for the majority, the first part of October, the 1st through the 15th, and then they moved out. They're not there anymore. So they're very, they're temperature sensitive, and they quit biting. Further you go south, say you go to South Carolina, Florida, you could catch those fish year round. In North Carolina, you've got to go offshore. They move offshore structure. You got to drop down out there, and you could catch them during the wintertime off North Carolina on offshore wrecks and reefs.
Okay. So I know a lot of what you do. I mean, you sometimes fish from a boat, but most of yours is like either land-based, pier-based, dock-based. Would you say that, like, what would you say the season is for that around here? Like, and just to be, for those of you who maybe don't know, but so you're in like the Wilmington, Wrightsville, Carolina Beach area. So
absolutely, that's where 90% of my fishing comes out of. The other 10% is like Cherry Grove, South Carolina. But for the most part, it's all, like you said, Carolina Beach, Curry Beach, Wrightsville Beach. Within those areas, sheepshead fishing gets good here mid-April, and it gets really hot May and June. And it slows down a little bit. The water gets a little too hot for them to be feeding as good as they were. And July, August, September's good. August it's pretty good, and October's really good, but it dies off quick too.
Okay, so pretty much between October and April, they're gone, right, for the most part.
After Halloween, you can't really find them where I fish. Now, other guys, they go to some spots towards Southport and other areas, and they could probably find them in their region. But I fish my spots after Halloween after November's here. I can't find them myself. No.
Yeah.
But the fishery here is really, really good depending on the season. The warmer months are good.
Okay. Well, talking about weather and seasons brings me to my next question. So, any considerations as far as like tides or weather? I mean, anything that really you want to speak to on
that? So a moving tide is good. Slack tide, whether it be high tide, not any current moving, I generally find that it's a slower bite. You might still catch them, but the moving tide, the first 2 hours of incoming, the first 2 hours of outgoing, just a moving tide in the first 2 hours generally seem to be the best. And also chumming on a dead high and waiting for the tide to switch is really good too, because it settles straight down. Then the current starts moving, the fish move, and then they kind of gather as they go past it.
That's pretty clever. I like this. I feel like I'm being prepared here to be able to be successful with this.
We're going to get on them, buddy.
Yeah,
definitely. So let's see. I'm trying to think of anything that we haven't covered tonight. We've talked about, we talked a little bit about locations. I mean, not specific locations, but I know you said docks with pilings and looking for stuff that has barnacles on it. Is there any other kind of structure that they really like?
Yeah, bridges. Bridges have all those oysters, all that growth. They have good water depth. It goes from 4 or 5 foot down to 16 foot. You could kind of hit the different depth locations. Locate. Sometimes they're not on shallow. Sometimes they're deep. Sometimes it's vice versa. Now, areas, docks that have a lot of pilings, the complex dock structures with the gazebos and a lot of pilings everywhere, and it has a lot of shade for them to kind of hang out, they'll be there too. Now, you'll find them on the little double piling in docks too, but generally you got to chum those and wait for the tide switch, and then they kind of go past that area. The gazebos, they're going to kind of have those fish already there, and it won't take long to get them chummed in. dropping mud crabs is probably one of the best things to drop without chumming. Mud crabs are a very, very good bait.
And pro tip too is
Mhm.
on the mud crab and the fiddler crabs, if you want to use those, is you break off a claw or you just slightly crush the edge of the shell, which releases the scent a lot
Okay.
more when they drop down. So that's essentially like chumming.
Okay.
Makes
The more you drop it.
Makes it look more of like an easy meal. Usually,
Right.
what we do is like if we haven't got a bite in a couple minutes, usually we'll Captain Crunch it and then we'll run it back again.
Yeah,
Okay.
crunch it.
Captain Crunch. That was my favorite cereal growing up.
Man,
I
that's some
always
good
liked
stuff.
that one. Peanut butter
Halloween.
one. So something you said, actually two things you said that I wanted to follow up on because it just kind of intrigued me. You're talking about one, you said something about shade. So like you're saying that maybe bigger structure, something that actually casts some shade, they like that?
Yeah, so like if you picture a big old gazebo, right? It's a whole big old, it's like a square, like
Yeah.
a 15 foot by 15 foot, and it's got all these pilings everywhere. That's that's what you want to look for. And especially the closer to the inlet, the better. Now, jetties are good, but right outside the jetties, you have those docks. Now,
Yeah.
for instance, you can't fish it, but the Coast Guard station in Wrightsville Beach, best spot in Wilmington, but you can't fish it. Now, I've got a buddy that fish it all the time, and every drop, you wouldn't even need to chum them. They're just there. There are so many fish. And it's the first dock that you hit coming out of Wrightsville Beach jetty. Now, as you go down the way, you're going to find other private docks and stuff. As long as you're not tied up to any of these docks, with the exception of the Coast Guard, you can't fish there anyway. But the other docks, you could fish, you could drop, you could spot lock or something and drop on these docks with the mud crabs, or if you wanted to try your luck with those mussels, and you could chum it with a little paint scraper or a flathead shovel. Now those fish aren't going to show up immediately. Chumming is going to take 20, 30 minutes before they even show up. Then you start getting bites. Sometimes sooner, sometimes later. It's fishing, but that definitely works. It's
you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
So this question may be neither here nor there, but something you said made me think about it. So I know some fish are more sight feeders. Some are more like smell feeders. Where would you say sheepshead? Okay.
They're definitely smell, because you could catch them in a pitch black area, no light whatsoever. The end of the dock. I was catching them last year. My biggest sheepshead, midnight.
No light. Yeah.
It was no light. It was pitch black out there, and all of a sudden you would get the sheepshead bite. They're sight night.
My citation.
Yeah, I was about to say, Amanda's citation was almost midnight.
We'll send you some pictures to put inside of here, but we caught personally our biggest sheepshead, Hers and I both, at nighttime.
Yeah, so, wow.
They bite day and night 24/7. Yep,
really?
There's no they don't have a shut-off time. If they smell it, they're going to eat it.
Very cool. Sounds like me.
That's funny.
Nice. Crustacean. Let's go.
That's it. If it's a crustacean, I'm all about it.
Drop some crab legs. You're going to hook me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you've answered most of my questions. And so I'd like to just, as we sort of circle around here to the end, anything else that you'd like to share on the topic, maybe that I haven't, we haven't had a chance to talk about yet? Any tips or strategies, anything we haven't kind of covered?
He brought up docks, bridges. Bridge pilings are fantastic.
Bridge pilings are really good. We've got a whole wall of these citations right here.
Okay.
These aren't my, but we got.
Explain what a citation
So a citation, some people
think they're tickets.
No, these are.
These are good citations.
This is a good citation to have.
Mom was like, "Mom, I've got a fishing citation." She's like, "What'd you do? And how much is it?"
When's your court date?
It's a North Carolina fishing citation. If a certain species is a certain weight, for flounder, it's got to be over 5 pounds. North Carolina stopped doing it. I know. Yeah. I'm just saying in general, 5 pounds is citation for flounder. 8 pounds is citation for sheepshead. Spanish mackerel, 6 pounds. So there's
up. Everything is up too.
And up, yeah.
Yeah, that or up. Yeah.
We've also got some that are like length and release, like redfish. They're a certain length, and then you have to be released.
So it's a good thing. You get a plaque in the mail. It has your name on it, and it has your fish's stats, and it has it's signed and everything, and it has
exceptional angler.
Here, you could kind of read it.
I believe they do them twice a year. I think is it or one?
Okay,
once
very
twice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
1 year.
I still haven't got mine yet.
I got
So we got a wall of those.
2 in 3 months.
Yeah. I'm still haven't gotten yet. So.
Well,
so we got that species covered.
That's very cool. Well, I'm still waiting for my sheepshead citation. I've got to the part that I'm waiting on for mine is actually to go out and catch the fish.
Got to get some time to go out. I got a spot right now that's actually producing. Wilmington's kind of slowed down, but there's a spot towards Southport that we get on that's got them right now.
Well, if I can get down there, I definitely want to hit you up, and so we can maybe get together and catch one. Well, I think unless there's anything else you want to share, I did want to ask you. So in your area, I mean, is there any kind of shout outs that you want to give? Any like tackle stores? Any places that you like to get your stuff, source your things? Any particular tackle that you like to use or bait or whatever?
So I go to Island Hardware and Tackle in Carolina Beach for my live shrimp. I do a lot of trout fishing with that. Live shrimp's good. Fiddler crabs, they always hook you up with fiddler crabs over there. That's really good for sheepshead during the spring. And it's actually pretty good right now, the fiddler crabs, because the trash fish are clearing out in this cooler water. So I don't use fiddler crabs too much during the summer. The trash fish are bad. You're going to get you go through 10 crabs before you get your one fish. But since they're clearing out, sheepshead stick around a little bit longer than they do. So you have a good chance of getting them on that simple bait.
We did them pretty good on in the springtime, but that's right before. I think it was like March when we did it. We really got into it.
Yeah,
I did it last week actually. At there's in the Cape Fear River on those guys, and then underneath the Snows Cut Bridge is really good on sand fleas and fiddler crabs. I go to Seaview Crab Company for my blue crab. When I use quarter blue crab, that's a really good spot to source your live crab for quartering it up. Intracoastal Angler, that's a really good spot for. And that's off of Oleander towards Riceville Beach.
Sportsman's Wholesale.
I was on that.
Sportsman's Wholesale. We
It's a
love
must.
that place.
It's
Yeah.
a must.
That's where I get my rod reel combos for the
There's a
most part.
difference between warehouse
Oh, yeah.
and wholesale.
It's wholesale. Sportsman's Wholesale. We're not saying anything bad about Sportsman's Warehouse, but
not.
Wholesale's where we. Sportsman's Wholesale is
He's
where we
wearing
go.
the shirt.
Yep.
Okay.
I wear them almost every
Yep.
day
We have
myself.
Okay.
almost every
Very
iteration
cool.
of shirt they make.
Yeah.
So,
Because they're great prices. It's not even.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they're cute shirts that are fish related, but they're
great
$5,
prices.
$10.
I mean, if you
Shirts.
need,
I mean,
if
Yeah,
you
they
need
are really-
reels lined, if you need, I mean,
They'll spool you up.
oh man,
they'll
like
set you up.
Black Friday sale.
They got
You
some
can't
killer
beat it,
deals.
man. You
You get all
cannot
your
beat
it.
tackle. I was getting these rod reel combos that were already spooled up. It's actually the one that I just rigged up right here with that sheepshead rig. Sheepshead rig right here. It's called the Live Bottom, and this is probably one of my favorite rod reel combos that I've been using. And it was $60 for this thing, and it came with the line and everything. I didn't even have to respool it.
Oh,
They have
really?
ladies'
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
They also have a
$60.
ladies' night. They do wine and pizza for the ladies. It's only open to them. So they close the store, and I want to say it's like from 6 to 8. And I might have participated a couple times. And they all know me. They take good. I don't know.
Yeah,
they just take
they
really
know
good
us pretty
care of
well
you.
by they know us when by face
Yeah.
when they come in.
Y'all are frequent flyers down there.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can get points every time you
Yeah,
send it out.
They're like, "Oh, you got points," and you give me your phone number. Like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I got points."
too many.
I got
Yeah.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that cooler over there. That thing's coming home for free by the time I get done.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I've definitely spent my fair share of money there, and
Yeah.
I saved a lot doing that too.
We've
Very
paid their
good.
rent a couple times. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, let me tell you what. Let me close with this. So, if somebody is watching this podcast or listening to it, as the case may be, and they would like to know more about your fishing, they'd like to follow you, maybe on social media or whatever. Like, how do they get a hold of you, or how would you like for people to be able to keep up with what you're doing?
Absolutely. So I would say join Carolina Inshore Fishing on Facebook. It's a Facebook page. It's got 74,000 members. Also, you could follow Derek Kelly on Facebook as well. Between those two pages, you will see all the information you need. Or you could comment on this video. If you have a question, I could answer it in the chat.
Absolutely. Well, definitely.
Also,
that's some great information. Go ahead.
Carolina Inshore is great. If you have any questions, everyone there is so helpful. I remember when I first started on there years ago, and it was like everybody was so nice. If I had questions, no one makes you feel dumb or anything like that. Just ask away.
Yeah, a lot of people come from freshwater to saltwater, so they're fresh to everything.
That's kind of like me and Amanda did. So we came.
So
from
the bass
freshwater.
fishing to straight saltwater is a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
So
it definitely is.
Say, hey, help me identify what I just caught, or what are you catching, and how are you catching it, and here's my catch. This is how I caught it, and they usually will tell you on the post about tide, bait, tackle, all of that stuff. So super helpful.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I've joined the group. I can't remember exactly how many years ago it's been. It's been several, but I know it's been a very helpful group for me. And just following the page for a while was actually how I got to following you and commenting on some of the pictures, and then I actually ran into you one weekend. We were down in Wilmington, and I was like, oh, I know that guy, and so but yeah, it's a great group, very friendly, lots of good information there, and encouragement for people who want to get out and start catching these species. So
absolutely, we look forward to all of our new members, and we will gladly answer any questions they have. So y'all come on through.
Appreciate it. Well, as always, it's a privilege having our guests on the Brilliant Fishing podcast. Tonight we were joined by Derek Kelly and a couple of friends. We had Amanda and Brad. So we learned a lot tonight about sheepshead fishing. And so if you want to get out, target these fish, hopefully you can use some of the tips and techniques that Derek shared here this evening. If you want to reach out to Derek, of course, you can do that by reaching out to him through the Carolina Inshore Fishing Facebook page. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget we also are available on all of your streaming platforms. We have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and all those popular audio formats as well. But if you're watching this on YouTube, it's actually a special treat because you get to see the things we're talking about. And we'll be including some pictures in here as well of some of the catches that Derek and Amanda have gotten into here in the recent history. So we'll be supplementing our video format with some of those pictures and things as well. So as always, appreciate you watching, subscribing, commenting. If you've got an idea for us, a comment, a suggestion, maybe you want to reach out to us, you got a suggestion for a podcast, reach out to us at brilliantfishingnc@gmail.com. And just drop us a line. Let us know you appreciate what we're putting out for you. So with that being said, we're going to sign off, and happy fishing.
Guys, I don't know if you guys can see the size of this. I think I just beat my personal best. Oh my God. Look at the mouth on this thing. Told you, brother. Hey. Wow. What? We're gonna get a measurement on this thing. Oh my God.
Look here. Okay, I got him.
Oh my God. Dude. Wow. Dude, what a trophy. What do you have to say, honey?
Oh my God.
That is insane. Oh my God. What? Oh my God.
I can't even look at it.
I can't. Dude, Amanda, it is massive. It is massive.
Oh my God.
Yes, give me some of that, baby.
Oh Oh my god!